Hello, Adab, Namaste. Welcome to India's Business Legends. After an amazing anniversary week, we are bringing to you a very interesting story. We all must have faced a shortage of fund at some point of time, whether it's a loved one in the hospital, whether you're starting your own enterprise, whether you want a student loan. So, most of us know that the best way to get it, of course, we're not talking about getting it sponsored by your fathers, but a lot of us do go to banks for loans. Today, we are going to introduce you to Rohit Pateria, who's the founder of Lark Finserv, who is actually willing to share some insights about how he can help you and how his business can help you arrange for funds when you need them immediately. So let's meet him. Hello, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much. Excited to be here.
Thank you, and I'm sure our viewers are going to get insights into how, like I told them, into how they can arrange for funds in a very short span of time.
Correct.
So can you explain what exactly Lark Finserv is doing to help people like that?
Yes, so we have seen there are traditional way of getting fund. You can get fund from your bank, you can get fund from your family and friends, you can have choice of getting fund through unsecured means, that is personal loan. But we have seen there are ways to leverage your asset as well.
Now, so what do we mean by asset?
Yeah, so I'm talking about asset where people invest actually. Particularly right now, as we see, there are different data actually available. And as we speak, there are people right from the age of 20 to, till their retirement age, actually, they are investing into mutual funds. Now, mutual fund become new trend in the industry actually.
Right.
Earlier, people used to only invest through FD or sometime through NPS, sometime through maybe some market opportunities that include stock market, properties. Mutual fund become new trend. Now, if someone is investing into mutual fund, that means their capital is blocked. Okay.
True.
If their capital is blocked and if they need fund on particular eventuality or situation actually, they have no other means just to kind of sell the securities, that is mutual fund, and get the fund. But if they are selling their mutual fund, they are compromising on their long-term investment goal actually. So Lark Finserv come up with a easy option for anyone who is investing into mutual fund, that in case of any medical emergency, any financial exigency, in just 5 minutes by leveraging or putting their mutual fund under lien, they can get fund in the bank account actually. Right from their KYC to getting fund in their bank account, it just take 5 minutes. So that means people who are investing without compromising, without selling their securities, they can get the fund at the time of their emergencies and the time when they need the fund at most actually. Yeah.
Which is fantastic.
Yes.
And what's the payback time like?
We give option to the people actually, like, they can choose, time period of 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, 36 months. And there is other way of doing it. Like, if someone is looking for OD, that is line of credit, we can give line of credit. In line of credit particularly, if someone not willing to pay the principal amount, they can only service the interest on month over month basis, and they can pay the principal in lump sum, maybe by the end of the year actually.
Yeah. Okay. So when we compare Lark Finserv to traditional banks who are giving us loans, what is the difference between the interest rate?
Right. So more than interest rate, let me answer this question differently. Like, traditionally banks and maybe conventional NBFCs, they still have that physical way of doing or processing the loan actually.
Right.
The turnaround time is not less than 3 days, 4 days, or sometimes 5 days also. That is the reason people are reluctant to reach out to them for funding options against mutual fund. The kind of digital infrastructure we created, which has got the API integration with all the stakeholders, that means RTAs, the banks, the payment gateways, another thing actually, we can process the loan just in time actually, in few minutes. So generally, this particular class who are investing into mutual fund, they feel kind of resistance to go to conventional banking and NBFC channel to get the loan. But since I can give loan to Lark Finersv in 5 minutes, it becomes a really handy solution for them. Now, so far as interest is concerned, it's quite competitive. Whatever banks are charging, they are also charging around 10.5%. We in Lark Finersv also charging 10.5%. So pricing wise, it's very competitive. At the same time, convenience wise, it is completely a change in paradigm actually.
Absolutely. I think if somebody needs funds immediately, specifically in terms of hospitalization,
Correct.
There is always an immediate need of funds.
Correct.
So I think it's a brilliant idea. How did you come across this idea?
Okay, when I have been into capital market for many years actually. I spent almost around 20 years in capital market in different capacities. So LAS, that is loans against securities or loans against mutual fund, is not something new actually.
Right.
This is in existence for ages. Like, since Bombay Stock Exchange come into existence, loans against securities was always there.
Right.
But the way we changed, the most important thing, how we kind of now processing the loan and how we are making it handy and user friendly for the customer actually. So it's a paradigm shift. We are redefining how people can get loans against mutual fund. So if we see the scenario in the business actually, like RBI is putting a lot of pressure on NBFCs and banks to reduce their exposure on unsecured portfolios to asset-based portfolio. They have to move to asset-based portfolio. When I say this, that means right now billions of dollars of personal loan, that is unsecured loan, has been distributed actually. And that is inherent risk to the economy, because if something goes wrong and people start kind of defaulting on the loan, it will ultimately put pressure on the financial institution. So that is the reason RBI pushing our NBFCs and banks to move to asset-based lending actually. Now only asset which is completely under leveraged is mutual fund.
Okay.
$500 billion mutual fund assets, and not even 500 million is kind of leverage value so far actually. So huge opportunity. So the idea which come to my mind was 1.5 years back, when I was working and trying to understanding on the decentralized financial model actually, where institution used to give loans against Bitcoin.
Okay.
I thought when technically it is possible to give loans against Bitcoin completely digital, why can't I give loans against mutual fund? Then I started working towards this particular idea actually. Then I kind of spoke with stakeholder, market participant, regulatory bodies actually, and we figured out that now they are ready to expose their API. With API collaboration, I can come up with some model where I can give loans against mutual fund completely digital in few minutes of time itself actually. Yeah.
Which is fantastic. So you founded the company just a year ago.
Correct.
How is it faring financially?
Yeah, so very interesting journey actually. So first 6 months, 7 months, we spent time to kind of create the product, because that's the fundamental actually. Like product for a fintech company is just like plant and machinery.
Sure.
Okay, if we have good product, which is actually scalable, futuristic, and really solving the problem of user, then only kind of it make sense actually. Otherwise, make no sense if you come up with some savvy product and which is not kind of helping people solve their problem actually. So we spent good number of kind of months to study, to come up with some kind of product idea. We assemble the team, we come up with the blueprint, and finally kind of deliver the product. Then we started working towards the GTM, that is go-to-market strategy actually. Now internally, the management side decided that it is a good sense to kind of first try this product bottom up. That means tier 3, tier 4 cities, if they like the product, where the awareness level is really low, if we successfully sell the product in tier 3, tier 4 cities, we will definitely scale up this product in tier 1, tier 2 cities easily actually.
But why would you take on that challenge? Because I think at the testing stage, it's always better to test it with people who are more, who will accept it in a more positive way.
See, this particular product, what we are building right now, is not a sprint actually. We are here for long. We are here to stay for long actually. That means if we are coming up with this product, that means it should solve the people problem actually. And when I say people problem is, this should have capability to solve the problem of people who are at the bottom of the pyramid actually. Because that is the toughest thing to kind of do. And we thought we should first try this particular product, the person who is at the bottom of the pyramid actually. So we analyzed the data of MFI, the Association of Mutual Fund participant in India actually, and we figured out that they have distributor all across India.
Okay.
And we analyzed that 30-40 cities are there where they have thin presence, but still there are mutual fund distributors. Then we figured out 7-8 cities, remotest cities, and we focused on those particular cities to try to understand whether people are liking this product or not actually. Surprisingly, we got very positive result actually. We started kind of building the network, appointing the MFDs, and we trained the MFDs to offer this product to their customers actually. Okay. And by getting the positive output, it was a encouraging and very motivating kind of sign. We finally kind of delivered that product to tier 2, tier 1 cities as well actually. Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Yeah. And throughout this journey actually we have seen kind of all kind of requirement. We have seen all kind of use cases. We have given loan to a person who is holding 10,000 rupees portfolio. Since LTV is only 50%, so a 10,000 rupees portfolio got 5,000 rupees. At the same time, we have solved a problem of a person who is holding 10 crore portfolio also, because the magnitude of problem may differ, but there could be financial problem to anyone.
Right.
A person who is struggling at the medical level or for some short-term kind of financial need, he may need 5,000 rupees. A person who is struggling for short-term kind of capital for working capital requirement in the business, a 5 crore is also matter for him actually. So we have solved all kind of problem, and now we are in the position to kind of cater all kind of customer, a micro customer who is looking for a micro credit, and a corporate also who is looking for line of credit against their asset actually. So magnitude of problem may differ actually. So right now we are solving problem of an individual client who is looking for say 5,000, 10,000 rupees credit line. At the same time, we are solving problem of a family office, corporate, treasuries who are looking for line of credit against their portfolios actually. So yes, so quarter one was a good quarter. We striked a sanction of close to 30 crore, and we are poised for quantum jump from here. We are partnering with large enterprise partners, and hopefully we should do good in coming months. Yeah.
Lark Finserv is absolutely doing great. And you have a very interesting history that you had another startup. Tell us more about that.
Yes, so after doing kind of entrepreneurship journey within the organization, different organization like Premium Global, Angel Broking, Standard Chartered Securities, Edelweiss, for so many years actually.
You were a CA with them.
Yeah, So I am a qualified chartered accountant, but I was always on the business side.
Right.
So heading the profit centers, the product side, business expansion. So I've done all those things actually, and always on the capital market side. So dealt with all kind of asset, handle large businesses. But there was some kind of inclination always towards the entrepreneurship actually. But as we say that it is very difficult to take plunge if you are in comfortable situation, especially in employment.
Sure.
There is a golden cage, very difficult to come out of it actually. Mm-hmm. So I was in a comfortable situation as an employee actually, monthly paycheck. There was a trigger point actually. I thought this is the right time to take the plunge. So year 2016-17 actually I took the plunge actually. Started my first venture, that was in student housing, and that was the first student housing venture in India itself actually. It was super successful. We raised round of funds also, expanded in multiple cities. We had almost around 10,000 bed inventory. It was successful, doing very well, but as human, as person, or as business, they have their own fate. So COVID striked, and we compelled to kind of shut down that business, because universities was all shut down for 3-4 years, and so eventually it was shut down. So that's the fate of last business. Yes. So
But then, what were your learnings from it?
huge learning. When you start a startup actually out of your corporate job, means you're setting aside your history back.
True.
Actually, you cannot kind of live in your glories actually, that you have done so far, whatever you have done so far in your employment journey. Actually, when you're starting off, you're starting from zero.
True.
So building a business is always a new journey actually. Okay, right from even thinking about what should be the name of the company, to hiring your first employee, to have a co-working space, or even identifying the cheapest office. You have to be frugal. You have to be very sensitive about what you are building.
Right.
You have to ready for new learning every day. Actually, you cannot always live in kind of in your own world that you have experience of 20 years, and you cannot stop learning actually. So first startup was something actually, it was a great learning for me, that how we can build a product which can be scalable, and how we can build a scalable business which is actually solving and changing the life of people.
True.
Yeah. So, and that actually given me a sense of grit and confidence that if I could build a business before, I can build a business again. Yeah.
When you're in a job, it's a very comfortable position.
Yeah.
Like you said, you're in a golden cage. What exactly prompted you to move on from, flying away from that golden cage?
एक entrepreneur कीड़ा होता है, अगर नॉर्मल लैंग्वेज में अगर बोलता हूँ मैं तो,
Right.
और वो आपको कब ट्रिगर करता है, you never know. See, I have seen people actually always craving about their bosses, about their job, but they never take courage to kind of take any action.
Right.
So it was a time bomb actually, about to trigger. So I took long time actually. I wish I could could have started it earlier, but I started at the age of 40. That was a little late, but yes, it is sometime, it is destiny and time and fate actually. But yes, there was an event actually. I was traveling in an aircraft actually, and aircraft took a plunge, and I thought it is crashing today actually. And I realized that I had a dream, and if I die today actually, I will not tried that dream itself actually. So it is better to try actually. The biggest risk in the market is not to try. Okay, if you're trying something, you are failing or getting success, it's all completely different.
Correct.
Different ball game actually. But if you're not trying, that means you're not taking chance also.
Right.
So that was the trigger point actually, and after that I resigned and taken the plunge, and started working on my first startup actually. Yeah.
And the biggest thing to think about for any entrepreneur is how to arrange for funds. How did you go about it? Being a CA yourself, I'm sure you must have had many ideas.
No, even CA or MBA doesn't matter actually. You have to chase investor. You have to convince them about your story actually. See, in my capital market journey as a professional, I could have raised fund for many people, advise them on investment ideas, on their wealth management ideas. When you yourself try to raise fund, it is not easy. Raising first fund, that is even $100,000, is a Herculean task actually. So, because ultimately you are prompting the investor to rely on your story.
True.
Because they are putting up their risk money on you. They never know whether the business will be successful or not. Because you are only selling the dream. Because you are also living in dreams.
Right.
If someone is starting a startup and feeling that he's doing it for a living, then it's not a startup. A startup means a disruptor. A disruptor means changing the way the business used to do business actually. If you're not having that idea of disruption, that means you're not creating value also.
Right.
So convincing investor that you are coming up with the idea which can disrupt the stereotype is not easy. So getting first fund is difficult, but after getting first fund, if you can deliver, then there is enough money in the market which can chase you actually. Because money is also there, and money chase success, money chase business.
True.
But getting first fund is something actually we really need to kind of try hard. Yeah.
That's actually a great tip for all the budding entrepreneurs who are watching us, that don't chase money, chase success, and money will eventually come back to you.
Correct.
Right?
100%. Easy, it's not easy journey, means if I say I come out of golden cage, completely depend upon mindset actually. Any amount of fund in bank account cannot give you satisfaction. If you're working on something which you kind of love doing it actually, then only it makes sense. Just for the sake of a startup, you should not do a startup actually, as simple as that.
This is actually something which a lot of entrepreneurs say, that if you love something, just keep going.
Correct.
And you'll be able to achieve whatever you've set out to.
Correct.
Right? So what else motivates you?
Cause. So only cause can motivate me. Okay. So like if I'm working towards a cause, I should not settle myself until I get the leadership position in that particular segment actually. That's the cause. It's not about how much money the business will make. It's about the satisfaction that whether I'm actually bringing change in what I'm doing actually. That is something actually a cause for me, and that is the most motivating and driving force actually behind me. Yeah.
So how is Lark Finserv helping people, or what is the cause that you intend to support?
Yeah. So cause is, say example, right now we are in the making of category. So the most satisfying part is, like, I could have started kind of building a personal loan company or business loan company where the earnings are too high actually, and I could make immediate money there actually. Like in personal loan and unsecured business loan, you can make quick money.
Okay.
But creating a category is a long drawn process actually. It's not easy. But the cause is that I could be a pioneer in this particular segment. I could be leader in this particular segment by bringing the change, by bringing the solution which can actually change the life of the people actually. Democratization of credit is a common term actually everyone use, but can anyone seriously deliver this? Yes. If a solution driven approach is there, a simple solution which can kind of bring people who are not very financial savvy or kind of tech savvy, or not having enough knowledge about investment and leverage. If I am building a product which can prompt them to come to kind of or choose to kind of take leverage against their asset without compromising on their investment goal, that's the cause actually, and that is kind of driving me or motivating me actually. Yeah.
So how is Lark Finserv impacting people at the grassroots level?
Yeah.
Because you said you're working majorly with tier 3 and tier 4 city people first. Are we actually able to reach out to people who really need these funds?
Correct. Good question. Let me give you some example. Okay. So in unsecured loan, these personal loan companies or business loan companies, they blacklisted hundreds of towns in India actually because of some historical or legacy issue, default, maybe kind of people are not giving or returning the money on time. So they blacklisted many of the cities in Northeast, remotest place in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, UP, Bihar, West Bengal. Thousands of such pin codes are blacklisted. Okay, this is one of the use case. And when we started kind of this quarter as a full commercial launch, we started getting a lot of those loans inquiry from these places. Like now we have served close to 40 cities and 15 states.
Interesting.
And those states include Nagaland, Mizoram, Manipur, Assam,
Wow.
remotest place of West Bengal, UP, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Kerala. So 40 cities are something actually we served, and we aspire to kind of reach out to almost 300 more cities actually. So, and we impacted the life of people in real sense, because we have seen people looking for last minute fund at the time of admission in hospital during their medical emergencies, where people are not fully covered, their health insurance is not kind of giving them full coverage, and they reached out to us midnight, and we had given loan in 5 minutes to them actually, without compromising, without kind of any physical process, all digital 5-minute loan. Okay, we have seen a real case actually where the person was struggling to kind of book a flight, because flight was costing him some 5,000, 6,000 rupees. He was trying to return from Mumbai to Patna for some family issue, and he was invested in mutual fund, but he was not getting fund through family and friends and other means.
Right.
He searched again on loans against mutual fund, reached out to Lark Finserv, taken loan just in 5 minutes, and he could kind of reach back to him home at the time of emergency actually. Now these are small stories actually. There are stories about parents looking for education loan. They failed to do that, and at the time of kind of emergency to kind of remit the fund for foreign education, they reached out to us. We funded against their portfolio, and they could kind of fulfill their requirement actually.
Right.
Numerous stories actually in short period of time. That is the cause actually that we are fulfilling, and that's the satisfaction. And we are now satisfied that yes, what we are doing is really making change in the life of people, and hopefully we'll continue to do that actually and try to impact larger audience now. Yeah.
Right. Though your cause is very noble, but of course business cannot just run on noble causes.
Correct.
What if somebody is unable to pay their loan?
See, it's very simple. So at the time of signing up, he agreed to kind of repay, and now since it's asset-based loan, if he failed to do so and he could not pay within a stipulated time, which is a 90 days time, like what regulation says, then we have no option to invoke the securities.
Okay.
That means at the time he default, whatever outstanding is there, we can invoke the securities and settle. So it's a normal kind of transaction. Everyone understand, because a financial company cannot survive without kind of financial fulfillment. Sure. So if someone default, yes, there is a chance that a lender can invoke the securities here.
Interesting. Before we sign off, any tip to our budding entrepreneurs?
लगे रहो. There is no tip. जो काम शुरू किया है बस उसमें लगे रहो.
That is actually very
And
good.
ultimately you will figure out.
True. So this was an insightful interview for you. I'm sure you learned something, you understood something, and you also figured out that if you are stuck in an emergency situation, where you've got to go. Bye-bye for now. We'll see you next week.